Marjorie Stoneman Douglas once said, "The Everglades is a test. If we pass it, we may get to keep the planet."
The Everglades are known to many as the most important and biodiverse ecosystem in all of Florida. They are essential to Florida's and to the world's environmental balance. Whether it be humans, animals, or vegetation, the Everglades are vital to South Florida's inhabitants.
They are the largest wetland system within the United States, and it's incredibly important for water quality, for water supply, for South Florida.
The Everglades filter water into the Biscayne Aquifer, an underground freshwater river system across Florida, which then travels across the state to provide fresh water for the people of South Florida.
If you're living or visiting South Florida from southern Palm Beach County all the way down to the Florida Keys, the ability to enjoy fresh water comes from the Everglades itself.
Our efforts for restoring the Everglades has to start here at its headwaters, at Shingle Creek just south of Orlando.
Shingle Creek fuels Lake Tehopacalaga, which helps make up the headwaters of the Everglades. These headwaters flow south to join with Lake Okeechobee, which is shaped so that with enough water, it spills out and flows south to the Everglades. This water is vital for the Everglades ecosystem, but unfortunately has been disrupted by human manipulation.
If we had a time machine 150 years ago, basically the Everglades would flow from Lake Okeechobee in this gigantic, shallow river. Now what we've done over the past 70, 80 years, 100 years is we've completely changed the way that all of that works. And so Lake Okeechobee, there's a giant dike that goes all the way around the lake. That's basically choked off the natural flow from the Everglades, and then a lot of the water now actually goes out to each of the coasts. And so that causes all kinds of impacts now with algae blooms and other things.
Even the slightest changes to the Everglades directly affects the drinking water of people living in South Florida. To better understand this, use these glasses of water to represent the aquifer in South Florida. Notice the glass on the right has filter paper over the lid. This is representative of the Everglades filtering impurities such as salt, pollutants, and excess nutrients out of the drinking water. The glass on the left, without the filter paper, shows what would happen to our clean water if the Everglades were changed in a compromising way. As I pour the dirty water mixture into the glasses, notice how the glass with the filter paper remains clear, while the one without becomes contaminated. This is exactly what would happen if the Everglades system is significantly altered.
With our government's current level of environmental concern, we are right on track to these devastating conditions. Legislative preoccupation with urban development encroaches on wetlands down in South Florida, causing a large number of problems.
Urban development is probably one of the biggest threats to the Everglades, and what happens when suburbia explodes out of the cities, all of a sudden you're carving into all those natural areas. And so that's what's happening in a lot of places in the Everglades.
Unfortunately, previous generations did not do the proper planning for development of these communities. So we need to ensure that development continues, but we want to make sure it's smart growth, it's smart development. Maybe go up instead of out.
In addition to urban development, agricultural activity makes changes to the Everglades ecosystems. Farmers use fertilizers and chemical additives to enhance their crops, which then creates nutrient-rich runoff that creates detrimental damages for wetlands.
Between polluted drinking water, urban sprawl, nutrient runoff, and many more, the Everglades face more challenges than we can possibly count. But these issues won't just fix themselves.
Our government must take legislative action to protect the Everglades from the destructive nature of mankind. The issue of Everglades restoration is a generational concern within my family. With my dad, a former biologist, and my brother, a current zoology student, I hope to carry on their efforts and advocate for governmental decision regarding the conservation of these vital ecosystems.
I don't think that people truly understand just how important the Everglades are. And, we've caused so much damage that without government action, there won't be any Everglades left.
When I worked as a biologist, I saw firsthand how human activity affected our environment. When it comes to the Everglades, there's no other place like them in the world. A place like that should be restored, preserved, and I think it's up to our government to protect them.
Any legal action in the right direction can help to make a change. Protection of water flow, endangered species protection, urban development planning, and farming regulations. All of these need to be placed into law as soon as possible, before it's too late to reverse our damage.